My liege's opinion of me is increasing. It's definitely a pretty strong guy. As far as Jorvik is concerned, vastly outnumbers them. So I'm definitely backing the right horse. The thing I'm not 100% on is how I wind up taking this place over. But I think that'll... Ultimately, I think that will present itself once I start getting some claims in the area. And I mean, I can... Some of the things I could do, I think once I take Lancaster, I might actually be able to claim things like Jorvik for myself. But what I really need... The reason why I've been maybe a little too eager to try and take Lancaster is I'm just looking for a better base from which to sort of build up my personal... my personal army. And the fact that I have a fairly low military rating right now is not helping things. In fact, I have a suspicion I didn't assign the Marshal to anything. He is leading troops. Well, don't lead the troops. Train the troops. Oh, God's sake. Okay. Train the troops, I say. And currently, he's not doing anything useful. Actually, I'll just get him to study technology. I don't really want to do any other plots. And improving religious relations seems to be as good as anything at this moment. And we are at the top of the hour, so I am going to take another break. Obviously, I'm not going to let the game run while I'm here, so I will ask your indulgence for 3 minutes of your time. Thanks again, everybody, for coming out. I missed the stream while I was gone, but I'm happy to be back, and I hope you guys are enjoying watching it as much as I'm enjoying streaming it. So I'll be back after I refill my water and get a stretch. I encourage you guys to get up and stretch and do all those other things as well. See you in a bit. Actually, I'll just offer to you guys, this is going to be a slightly later break just because I have a dentist appointment at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's just about 11 o'clock now. So I'm going to take a minute just to floss and do the mouthwash and stuff like that now so I can basically crawl into bed once the stream is done. So it's going to take a couple of minutes to do that. I know it's not the most exciting reason, but it's better than just making the mouthwash sounds into the microphone while I play the game. So this is a slightly extended break. I'll be back as soon as I can. All right, sorry for the extended break, but I figured it's probably better for me to get that out of the way. There's actually a funny thing about the appointment tomorrow that I just thought of. Because this week I spent the whole time like preparing for my grad school applications and stuff like that, and obviously you pay a fee for each of those, and you pay a fee to send out the transcripts and stuff like that. I probably wound up maxing out my credit card, and I owe them for something that was done the previous visit that they didn't bill me for, so I need to make sure I try paying first, because I've already rebooked the appointment once. And I have a feeling they're going to be a little frustrated if I get the treatment and then I don't pay them. Constantine's justice has brought peace to a troubled province. Fewer crimes are committed and fewer complaints are heard in the province. The peasants have never been happier. It's not a worry. Like, I definitely have money to pay off the card, but it's a JP Morgan Chase card, which doesn't actually have any branches inside of Canada. So the only way I can pay them off is through an electronic transfer, which, even if it wasn't a weekend, it's a couple of days. Now, I have a backup credit card and stuff like that. There'll be a way I can get payment through, but I just need to make sure I actually bring my backup and stuff like that, because I've never had a problem with it. I don't see why it should be, but I was just thinking, is like, oh yeah, I should maybe actually read my statement and see what grad school cost me. Okay, peasants from the local countryside have sent a representative to petition for our support for one of their traditional carnivals. We can afford it, lose 25 gold, or they are just peasants, and I lose the trait just. Well, yeah, let's pay for the carnival. Okay, my daughter is legal age and became a thrifty clerk, so let's find a way of marrying her off. Oh, she is not mine to marry off. Looks. There we go. Okay, so I've got French alliances. Oh, the Earl of Oxford would be good. Oh, but it costs me reputation. Yeah, why not? I don't need an alliance so badly that I'll take that big of a prestige hit. I could always try like a matrilineal marriage, but I don't quite think I'm influential enough to make it worthwhile. How are we doing for... Yeah, still 600 troops. Like, 600 troops is not really going to accomplish anything. I don't even think I could lay siege to the... No, I couldn't. And that's assuming that their troops aren't actually, like, they have their full levy, which is already larger than what I can muster. So I think I'm back in a holding pattern. At least until I have, like, I have enough to hire the mercenaries, so now it's just a matter of maintaining them. Yep. Let's educate the child. Yeah, Spymaster is probably the best call. So let's see what these mercenaries are going to cost me. So 9 a month. I don't actually know how long it takes to lay siege to something, so I'm figuring I take the 150 for the troops. And then I should probably set them aside for at least a year. So, well, I mean, if I round it up to 10, basically what I need to have is about 270. How about I just say I don't do anything until I have an amassed wealth of 300? That way I can, like, if it's a short siege, fine. And I can stretch that money out by basically using the mercenaries first, letting them absorb all the damage, and then my personal levies can come afterwards, because you only pay for the mercenaries that actually eat. Pope Romanus has died and has been succeeded by Pope Gelasius III. All I care about is whether or not my... Oh god, okay. Well, hopefully he poisons his own relationship with the Pope. Because otherwise I'm going to need to do another bishop assassination. Cardinal Omri... Okay, just shuffling cardinals. Not a big deal. And we get to watch the world fly by. One thing I will take a look at is my improvements. I think we're still at a fairly low technology, so there's not a whole lot that I can actually do to improve this castle. Castle Town 3 would require me to have castle infrastructure at level 4. And I think I'm at level 2. Yeah. So, and I don't actually, like, there's no autonomous technology that I'm getting at the moment. I would need to basically research it from these other areas. So I'm not too... Basically, anything that I build will be things like training areas, and right now I want to expand my personal domain. Like, I can have 3... I can hold 3 counties. So right now my priority is to sort of expand my territory first, and then I can worry about developing it. And usually what I do for developments are things that'll get me money, because obviously I can buy the other things later. And Jorvik's looking a little weak. Well, 1.7k still isn't great, so I think I'll hold off. What do I have as far as allies are concerned? I really don't have any allies, so yeah, I need to just keep it cool until I have my 300 gold. Although I will occasionally look to see whether or not I can invite the Jewry back. If only so I can rob them when my wars go wrong. And call me crazy, but it looks like my liege is not doing well in this war. I mean, we have a war score right now of 49%, but I don't actually see any troops on the field. Oh, yes, I do. They're sieging... Yeah, so he's just voluntarily not engaging them. Never mind. I'm just not paying attention. So I was talking a little bit about the differences between this and Europa Universalis. I think probably one of the most telling differences in this game is how sort of the two... I guess there's the two perspectives of the world. Like this one, the individual matters. You do actually have individual relations. One of the things you may notice, because you guys obviously have been fairly consistent viewers of this channel, a lot of people come in and ask, you know, do you have the Way of Life expansion installed? And that's just because it adds more interpersonal relationships. So in this case, the game is as much taking care of your vassals and establishing those relationships, or in my case, you know, getting on good terms with my liege and trying to get titles and things like that. Whereas, so in this case, it's perfectly viable to play a small player just simply because there are sort of institutions in place to make sure that you're protected. Whereas Europa Universalis, it's kind of neat to see how you have these two perspectives of history, where Europa Universalis takes place around a time where large, like these large empires are kind of coming up, and all of a sudden the individual doesn't matter anymore. You're sort of this invisible hand behind the nation that's guiding it. So I think that might be the appeal to me for Crusader Kings 2, is that it does small scale. We would like to add to our interpersonal relationship. Like basically, it's kind of neat how they... You know, they deal with the practicalities of running something. It would be neat if there was a way that they could incorporate sort of the dynamics of... Like, Democracy 3, for instance. You have to deal with your cabinet. You need to deal with the fact that they have their own lobby groups pressuring them. So it'd be kind of interesting if Europa Universalis was somehow able to capture that, because I think Crusader Kings 2 does it very well. Same without the Kappa. Yeah. The church has just gotten some very beautiful stained glass windows, and as I and Herrswith contemplated the windows, the priest approached us and asked what we thought about them. I'd thought about the symbolism of the windows, while Hareswith just repeated what I said. She is too arbitrary to voice her own opinion, which needlessly damages the relationship, and it's a bit flattering, really, where her opinion of me goes up by 15. And I'm a lustful king, so I certainly want the opinion of the ladies to be very high. Good news from the mission to Westmoreland. During my visit to the court of the bishop, I have filled his ears with poisonous slander and evil rumors about his spiritual leader. The relationship has been so thoroughly sabotaged that I foresee that is going to be anything but good from now on. So I believe that's tax revenue for me. Let's see the change. This should switch to a crown in a minute. Nope, still likes the Pope more than me? Well, crap. Could always assassinate Galasius. Okay stats. I guess my spy master's too busy to train any more kids, so let's just double check this is the... Holy crap, where'd she come from? That's my wife. Yeah, I'll definitely get her training the kid. Yeah, that's something you really want to hear your husband say to you. It's like, who are you? Okay, so we won the war. Hooray. I guess these are raiders? Let's take a look at my options. Yeah, there's really not a whole lot that I want to do right now till I get that 300 gold. As you can see, like, the prestige has really been hurt by this this particular set of behavior. The previous guy, at the very least, he made an effort to try and gain some prestige. Now, he lost some of it because of trying to do things like enforce the white peace and things like that. You'll always lose prestige if you don't actually enforce your demands in a war. But, I mean, at least the guy tried. This guy has got a fairly high level of piety, but absolutely no glory, just because it's been sitting down rebuilding the kingdom from the previous attempts. And, I mean, I have a big question, too, which is it better to try and attack Jorvik, which currently has 553 troops, although, of course, if I attack them, then there's going to be the Holy War. Or do I make my claim on Lancaster and just hope that the allies don't come in time? I'm still thinking Lancaster's the way to go, but it's definitely the riskier of the two options, I believe. Especially because the allies have probably rearmed themselves after the war by now. My liege, the people of Gowrie have progressed beyond our own... progressed beyond our own technological level. I managed to study their advancements, and the documents enclosed here should help us reach their level. I hope you find this to your satisfaction. Your humble spy master, Bjorsig Wilfgang. Sure. Let's see what we got. I believe that was military advance, so that kind of makes up for what we lost from expelling the Jews, who I still can't bring back. If my opinion ruled, the world would be a more chaotic but fun place. If I keep following the laws, the world would have less chaos but also be less fun. Let my rule begin, 45% chance that he gains the trait arbitrary, or justice should prevail, 45% chance he gains the trait just. So if I am just, stewardship is up, learning is up, vassal and same trait opinion is up, but the opposite trait dislikes me. Arbitrary will give me less stewardship, less learning, and lower opinions of my vassals, so clearly I want to go for justice. Treating people fairly and providing justice is my duty. I have gained the just trait. Okay, so this is going to be the guy I wind up playing next, so I want to be particularly attentive to what traits he gets. I actually want to know why my wife is not available. So I'm thinking I'll now train my daughter. And we can get I can get my wife to train my son. Basically, this is just so I have a particularly good set of stats for the next guy. So just, yes. As long as you ignore the whole murder thing. Fate smiles upon me and my wife Christina is pregnant. Apparently all of those lessons just get her in the mood. See, to give you an idea of what an idiot I am in this game, I'm looking at the amount of gold I have right now, and I'm like, 250. So that gives me 10 months in which I can lay siege to the enemy holdings. Now, I already said that I was going to wait till I had 300 gold, precisely because the unexpected is going to come up. But I still really want to hire the mercenaries now. My liege, my mission to Wessex so far has been a success. During my visit to the court, King Petra of Wessex, I seem to have made him understand what a benevolent and peaceful ruler you really are, and he sends his regards. So that is my liege. I believe I can request a title from him now. Nope. Okay, so he has the opinion. So he either doesn't have a title for me, or I haven't said what title I want. Oh, and my liege is incapable. Due to advanced age, head injury, or other mental disabilities, this character is not fit for any kind of work. So, even though he likes me a lot, he is simple. Screw the education of your daughter, she's just going to use levy claim from her land, yeah. Last time I hired mercenaries, things didn't go so great. Yeah, well, this time I have to because I don't have the troops on my own to take Lancaster. The one thing I'm not clear on, and if anybody is familiar with Crusader Kings, this would be helpful. I'm curious if you can hire mercenaries and then declare war, or if they count towards the towards having troops raised, because that's definitely going to affect the outcome of this conflict. To the great Earl Ealdwine, your wisdom and mercy are legendary. I accept your suggestion that oh yeah, that's the marriage proposal I just sent off. Yeah, I mean, I'm of the opinion that if you are an earl or a count, depending on what part of the world you're in, your only option is to hire people to fight your wars for you. Another daughter. For some reason, this family is daughter crazy. Always gets a son just in time, but lots of daughters. And looks like I lost my Chancellor, who I think was actually pretty good at his job, if I remember. Oh, I don't even have anybody to replace my Chancellor. Okay, I think I need to invite a noble. 6 gold isn't the end of the world. Just, I'd rather not spend money if I don't have to. Times are tough. Oh, they come right away. Alright, well, 10 isn't bad. Oh man, I really gotta get rid of my marshal. Okay, let's hire a few nobles. Well, he's 6. It's better than 2, I guess. I'll just go for 2 now. You're shooting X's. The smallest spider makes my daughter Elthigfu? What a name. Squeal and run for cover. This has started to worry me. Spiders? I can't abide them either. She will gain the trait Craven, which I believe is all negative. Yeah, -2 martial, personal combat skill lower. I mean, it's not like she's going to be leading troops, so there's worse things that could happen. Some fears are good, but there are limits, so 50% chance of gaining Content, 30% chance of gaining Craven, 20% chance of no effect. I believe the opposite trait... No, the opposite trait is mine. Fear is the Mind Killer. Loses the trait Craven, 25% chance she becomes Brave. Yeah, of course I'm going to put her hand in the black box. I can't believe they included that quote. That's hilarious. Get a good grip on yourself, folks. We're almost at 100 prestige. Okay, another useless trip to the bishop, it sounds like. Yep, still likes the Pope as much as me. Thank goodness this is getting me that tax revenue. Tithe revenue, whatever. More kids. Oh, next month. Let's even slow it down so we can watch the counter roll over. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Oh, what a letdown. $100, there we go. Still can't still can't bring the Jews back into the country. Okay, so it looks like I lost a couple of the... Wait, was that my wife who just died? Yeah, it was. So I'm thinking, actually, this is a pretty ideal... Actually, both of these are really good. I think I was originally going to say that marrying into Carling is always a fairly good idea. I'm actually going to betroth myself. She's only 1 year away from like being able to be married. The main reason for this is actually her military skill. This will allow my levies to get a bit higher. I mean, all of her traits are fantastic, so I'll be able to switch out the Guardians. And then it'll also give me an alliance with Italy. Again, Italy's not going to show up in any meaningful time, but this is a pretty good connection to make. In the meantime, though, I do need to make sure that the kids are educated, so let's start with the heir first. Yeah, I think that's the best I can hope for right now. Oops. And what about the other brat? Yeah, I'll just train both. What's particularly interesting, actually, is that I've been going for the martial ability, but I got the learning quest lines instead. Not entirely sure how that works, but happy enough to get it, I suppose. $18 gold away from our goal. I think what I might wind up doing, this could wind up being a huge waste of money, but I don't particularly want to go into a war just with like low morale troops. So I think I'm going to do is just try hiring the mercenaries and then seeing if I can declare war. If I can, great. If I can't, it's a huge waste of money and that really sucks, but at least I'm not committed to a particular course of action. Nope. And I can get married. How did she turn out? What was her trait? She became a detached priest, which isn't that great. Oh, she's a genius. Cool. Yeah, generally okay traits. I'm lustful, so that'll make sure that the kids keep coming. I'll definitely make sure that once the marriage happens, my kids get educated by her. Okay. Well, I can pump up my gold or I can get the prestige. In this case, I'm so close to my gold anyway, or my goal, I'll actually go for people respect wealth, which will give me the prestige. So I don't want to anger the old... I don't really want to anger the old guardian too much, so what I'm just going to do here is I'm going to reassign my heir, and the rest of it I'll leave alone. This also probably doesn't hurt to have my wife like me, but looks like we already like each other. So still not a fantastic prestige, but at least a nice little shot in the arm. Jorvik's also looking kind of weak. But again, the disaster would be if I spark a holy war. With mercenaries, I double Lancaster's troops, so it's still the smarter call. Assuming I still have the casus belli, of course. Still the same ruler, so I don't see why I shouldn't, but it's a concern. County of Bedford, eh? Still not worth it just because my courtier isn't going to really... Like, they're not going to give me the territory after it's done, so... Just wait till I have my 300. Again, this might be a bit of a disaster, and I can't scum save it or anything because it is Iron Man mode. But what I'll do here is hire the mercenaries. Oop. Let's just make sure they're... Yep, I'm okay with that. Actually, looks like I have a couple of options. I like this a little more because they have lots of archers, which don't have the best morale, but they're backed up with some foot troops. So the drawback here is I could hit this button and find out that I need to fire them and I've just spent 150 gold on nothing. It's probably just as well to find this out. So what I do here is I just wait for them to get their morale up. And then I declare war. Well, actually, I can have the option to declare war right away, so I don't... Yes, I do have that option. So I'll just take a quick peek at the allies. Definitely has strong allies, which are a concern. So I think the way to deal with that is just make sure that I intercept them one at a time. And again, that's assuming that allies actually come in to defend this guy, so... Oh, just got a message from Nick. So as you may guess, there's not going to be casting at this hour. That'll definitely be happening tomorrow, though. Well, okay, so there's a cast happening now, but any Dota 2 casting will happen later. History is a subject that has always fascinated you, and you have spent the last few weeks studying the campaigns of Alexander the Great. There are many lessons to be learned from his conquests in the East. Perhaps I too will march east one day. Good time to get martial. And looks like I get a prestige gain for moving my traits up. So I can try to amass wealth, improve intrigue, or become the King of England. King of England I can't remove. I'm going to be dropping wealth, and there's no way I can get any of these roles because the king is currently incapable. So I think I'm just going to work on my intrigue. I can always abandon it later. And it's suggesting I have access to a lot more troops than I really... Oh no, I've got 600 in my personal holdings, so that's fine. I can... The nice thing about my own personal troops is they're next door, and they have full morale when I raise them. So if things go bad for my mercenaries, I can always bring in some backups. But the nice thing about using mercenaries ahead of the game is to lower their monthly costs. Alright, let's go for it. Oh, and I definitely need to move that speed down. Kill my liege, make his son love me. Man, my liege really likes me too. So it looks like none of his allies are coming to help, which is fantastic. It means I can basically finish this thing off with mercenaries alone. So what I want to do here, just before I go on the siege, I want to just completely wipe out his army, because that's going to pump my war score up pretty well. It dawns on you that one day there is plenty of intrigue happening right under your nose. Your servants, from the kitchen maids to the stable boys, share juicy gossip with each other on a daily basis. If you want to improve if you want to improve at this twisted game of manipulation and deceit, then perhaps you ought to dive in and join the prattle. Said and done. So still has some troops left over, 239. I got a prisoner, which I'll be able to ransom. You'll notice that I gained 14% on the war score. And he's arriving in Lancaster, so assuming that I wipe out the army in this final encounter, I'm going to be able to start the siege right after, and I still have plenty of gold, so this should be a captured territory. One of the nice things about having an incapable liege, actually, is that he's not going to meddle in a lot of the stuff that I want to do. It's, I mean, it kind of sucks that I don't get the title, but... Dear Earl Ildwine, I'm a bit concerned about this war you currently struggle with, and therefore I decided I would send you a small gift. Nothing much, just so you can hire some more soldiers. This will suffice, thank you. The bishop gave me 4.5 gold, which is not a lot, and unfortunately the mercenaries didn't finish the job, so we'll go back and clean up the enemy. Again, you just noticed that I haven't needed to do a siege yet, and I'm now at 71% war score. So it's definitely a much more efficient way of dealing with the war. Because I'm paying for this, because I'm paying for the mercenaries, I want this war to be over as soon as possible, and so wiping out their forces is a really good way to do that. It is diminishing returns. The fewer people you kill in battle, the less effective it's going to be, but now I've got 80%, so I'm pretty sure I just need to capture one holding, and the war is done. And it doesn't look like he has any allies who are coming to help. Nope. So it should be a pretty clean takeover. See if I have any intrigue options yet. Nothing that I want to do. Thanks, Bishop Buddy. You're the best. Facepalm. It paid for like half a month. Cardinal Giacomo of Cortona was given a seat in the College of Card. Okay, so just more of the same. I can actually ransom this mayor. Let's see what he's worth. 25 gold? Sure, that'll pay for a couple of months to lay siege to their city. Taking part in the gossip sessions of your service proved an enlightening experience. Not only have you learned new ways to obtain sensitive information, but also that one of the milkmaids is secretly carrying the blacksmith's unborn child. Oh, the scandal! Gain 2 intrigue. To the affable pilgrim Ildwine, peace be with you, I accept paying your ransom to for the safe return of Mayor Gamel. So I'm definitely feeling like I saved a little too much for the war, but it's better to be over-prepared than under-prepared, as we have learned. Alright, Ithgo is always counting money and makes sure that she gets the most of it. She haggled with a merchant over some sweetmeats until the merchant laughed with frustration and handed over the sweetmeats for a lot less than he had asked for. I will teach her about the joys of money, gain 1 stewardship, 75% chance she becomes greedy, 25% she becomes charitable. I can tell her about the joys of giving money, 75% chance of becoming charitable, 25% chance of gaining stewardship. Money is for God. 75% chance of becoming zealous. 25% chance of becoming charitable. I definitely like the charitable trait. 3 diplomacy, 10 church opinion, 10 same trait. Greedy is not that great. Good for national tax modifier. Now, she's not going to be running a country. And it does give a -1 to diplomacy. So I think in this case here, charitable is the more likely of the event, but even 1 stewardship is good. So in this case, I'll just say teach the joys of giving money. And she gives freely to everyone that has a need or a want, has gained the trait charitable. God wills it! Yes. I suppose one of the nice things about Crusader Kings 2 is it seems to have created a series of memes for the channel. I suppose in the back of any streamer's mind is the idea of partnership. Now, I'm not entirely sure I am a quality of stream and that would ever retain partnership, or certainly that would be a very long-term goal after I've finished school and I've established something of a career. But I have a feeling that there'll be a few God wills it emotes if I ever were to become a partnered streamer. That, or if they just unlock the emote options for their unpartnered streamers. You never know what the future holds. Alright, fate smiles upon me. My wife Valentina is pregnant. 5 prestige. With my genius wife. Let's see how the kid turns out. Well, the bishop likes me even more. Maybe he'll give me more than 4.5 gold next time. I think my personal levies probably aren't enough to take out this garrison, so it's particularly important to keep this mercenary army up, just because I wouldn't be able to. Whoa. King Gareth of Wessex has created the title the Duchy of Lancaster. I want my hands on that. And I should get it pretty quickly. Okay, we got victory. You do get a little bit of gold for completing a siege, but most importantly, I've got the 100% war score, so I offer peace to enforce demands, which ensures that I gain 100% prestige from the war contribution, and I gain the County of Lancaster finally. So I finally added to my demand. It took me a long time, and it basically took 2 generations. And I fought for my independence from the Vikings only to give it back to Wessex, but we now have 2 holdings in our realm, and we'll be able to... Oh god, now I'm getting greedy. We'll be able to turn this into a duchy pretty soon, I think. Opinion 25 of me, so what I'm going to do here... Realize duchies are typically associated with giving income to their liege. Correct. That is correct, but I'm already giving an income to my liege. I mean, the money that I'm giving away is ensuring that I've got a guy with 4,000 troops to back me up if the Vikings come calling. So I think that's a small price to pay, given the fact that I'm a 1 and now 2 county lord. Let's ransom her. And I don't think I can just go and attack Cumberland. No, I can't. So it would have been cool to try and use this mercenary army to get another territory, but... I mean, I could try a holy war on this territory. Do I have any allies to bring in? No. I think the wiser course of action is just to drop the hired armies and consolidate what I have. My careful maneuvers in this battle have shown our patient nature to everyone. I'll actually bring up the ledger to see if it talks about how much I'm giving away. You've had your eye on Cumberland for a while now. Yeah, well, I mean, originally I wanted to sort of use the bloodline to get into it. But if I want to actually seize it, I'm going to have to get a casus belli, which is going to cost me prestige and gold. I'm going to have to rehire a mercenary army. So at this point, I'm just going to hold off. I'll let my personal holdings go back. I mean, I now have a force of 1358. If you compare that to Cumberland's full force of 1699, any mercenary army that I hire, even in a pretty desperate state, is going to be able to handle it. Okay, so why can't I make this claim on my king? Duchy of Lancaster. Yeah, I can't ask the Pope to claim it. Or claim it for me. Oh, interesting. So there's a third element to Derby. Or sorry, Derby is the third element. So what I think I'm going to do here is I'm just going to get my Chancellor to improve my king's opinion of me. And I guess Derby is the next place we go. Alternatively, Chester. I mean, Chester is held by ruffians. The guy tastes more like grandpa than he does father. Yeah. He's a conqueror. Your commanding presence on the battlefield was felt during the recent victory by friends and foes alike. You bolstered the spirits of the men when it was needed most, and you personally led the final charge that broke the back of the enemy army. Songs will be sung of this day. Gain 100 prestige. Bang! 490. Which means we can also hold a grand tournament soon, I think. Margaret is slow to learn to talk. Encourage her by example. Birch. Oh yeah, I always beat the kid when I do this. Margaret is exhibiting severe anger constantly. She has gained the wrath trait. I don't care, I'll just marry her off to somebody. Daughter was born to Earl Eldwine of Westmore. Oh yeah, so. More baby daughters. And I guess I can't hold a tournament. Oh, I guess I have to be a king for that. That's fine. I should actually maybe be looking at what kind of upgrades I can build. So the rest of these are money. Do you ever do any classic RPGs, D&D, Pathfinder, Hackmaster, that kind of stuff? And can I bring... I can't bring back the Jews. I think it was because it was really close to the end of the previous reign that I think it takes like a decade or something like that to have them feel comfortable coming back into the country from which they were expelled. I have played D&D. I don't even remember what edition it was. I haven't played Hackmaster. I haven't heard of Pathfinder. I find generally, like I played them more around high school. And I find since I moved to Vancouver, it's actually generally quite difficult to find groups to play with. In addition to the fact that obviously I'm really busy right now. I think they're fun, but computer gaming certainly has some advantages as far as matchmaking is concerned. Although it certainly has its own difficulties as far as the experience is concerned. Certainly playing something like Skyrim isn't really the same as speaking out in a game. Ha, you played D&D, nerd. Yeah. I did actually, so the most I got into an RPG was I played Shadowrun for a little while, and I actually ran a campaign which was reasonably successful. And I mean, I like smart, I think I said this earlier in the broadcast tonight, actually. I do like a smart style of sci-fi, and I think Cyberpunk gives you a chance to tell some stories that, about things that matter to you. Not to say that other sci-fi doesn't, but I think Shadowrun can really give you a very rich environment in which to tell an interesting story if you want to take the opportunity. But I'll admit, like, I'm the kind of RPGer that if I wasn't running the campaign, I would usually need to sort of rely on the DM or the GM or whatever the title's called to to get them to explain the rules to me or something like that. Generally, it's a storytelling experience that I enjoy rather than the mechanics. Although I do like storytelling, so it's a shame that the DM obviously has this rather heavy mechanical component. All right, so I believe that is my heir. No, he's not. Thank God. He became an indulgent wastrel, who is slothful, proud, and shy. Suffice to say, I'm not going to be too sad that he doesn't inherit the kingdom. I'm really worried that there are... Oh, these are just raiding parties they've assembled. I don't need to worry about them. Well, I kind of need to worry about them, but somebody else should be taking care of them. Alright, still working on the bishop who thinks I'm the bee's knees. Proud and shy, interesting. Hey, I didn't make up the traits. Do I have a better marshal yet? I do. Looks like it's time for a reshuffle. Man, that was a great place to take over. There's so many useful servants. Is it really the best steward I have? No. I mean, everybody's going to be pissed off at me because I... Oh, wait, this is my wife. I assigned Spy Master. Awesome. Court Chaplain. I had the best chaplain. Okay. Get her scheming, I suppose. I could send her for technology, but... Well, raise money and make the king like me. So yeah, I basically inherited all my rivals' advisors. Actually, I guess I don't really need to be training... I should probably be training troops in the area that does its levy depleted. Spy Master waifu. Indeed. When guests arrive, my daughter... These names, man. My daughter is the first to greet them and shower them with questions. The child clearly has potential. I gain 5 prestige. She gains the trait gregarious, and her opinion of me increases. I can introduce her to everyone at court. She gains 5 prestige. Well, not that interested. Thank the Lord she isn't shy. 90% chance of no effect. 10% chance that God has a sense of humor and gains the trait shy. The child is annoying. 50% chance of shy. 40% chance that she loses gregarious. 10% no effect. So... Clearly this has worked. Yeah, and their advisors clearly worked so well for them. Indeed. They just needed the right quality of leadership. A 500 prestige quality of leadership. I won't slow down the game to see the rollover this time. That was a one-time only thing. Let's hold a summer fair. We're feeling in a celebratory mood and we just crossed 500 prestige. We'll also do a feast this year because we can afford it. Oh, cool. I actually didn't use my marshal, so I can start training troops in the place that has depleted levies. The Summer's Fair archery contest went very well. The clout and the space around it was filled with arrows. Some of them had hit the bullseye, some of them had missed the clout altogether. The winner was a modest man who disappeared rather quickly after he collected the prize. That is suspicious. I gained the trait Paranoid, which in this case I don't think will help me, just because I have a fairly good diplomacy and I don't really want to Oh, well, 9. I can't really get that back. It would help me... Oh yeah, you know what, that's a really tough one, because that'll help me with the improve Yeah, okay, I will do Paranoid, actually. What that's going to do is that's going to give me prestige for completing the improve intrigue. What the hell do you call it? The ambition. And that'll allow me to pursue other things. Why isn't my piety higher than my prestige? You're doing it wrong. It was at the start of his rule. I'm definitely not more pious than the Pope, though. So, in this case, I will do that as suspicious. And that's just a quick prestige boost. So now I have a few choices. I'm definitely not becoming the King of England, so I'm not going to try that. I could try to become one of these roles. which would be kind of interesting. I don't believe I get a chance to see who his current advisors are. Or I could alternatively try amass wealth, which would be really good because that, I mean, it's 500 gold, but at the monthly balance, okay, so slightly less than 5 gold a month. 10 months for 50. 10. So it's 10 years. You know, I do have about 10 years worth left in. Okay, what's the gain for amassing wealth? 1 stewardship? That's not worth it. My best trait is in fact steward, so what I will do is have an ambition to become the steward to the king. That'll also complement my kind of the relationship building that I'm doing with the king already. I think that's the safer bet. I'll definitely build up my wealth because I want to start improving. Yeah, I'll start improving my personal holdings. I can't do a castle town, but oh, you know what? I haven't done a hunt in a while, so let's do a grand hunt and a feast, and then we'll think about saving. I'm out in the woods and I see a mighty stag while my party is hunting. What are the odds? 5 prestige. Spare its majesty. Gain the trait kind, which I believe I already have. Yes. Would look really great on my wall. I get 20 prestige, 50% chance no effect, 10% chance of diligent, 20% chance that I gain a martial, 14% chance wounded, 4% chance of maimed, 1% chance of died. Now, if you recall from the previous games, there wasn't a death option for some of the rulers. It's basically just because my martial is 8. So let's go for it. I mean, there is a meaningful chance that something bad happens to me, but 20 prestige is worth it. Nothing bad happened. Okay, I can arrange a marriage. I get 6, which isn't the end of the world. Well, I mean, it's nothing special, but gets my daughter out of the house. And I'm a little surprised. Oh yeah, I can't toast a feast because I'm still on the hunt. Okay, relationship with the king is improved. The sighthounds thirsted for blood this gentle afternoon, and they brought us many hares. This is a fine sport. 5 prestige. I will admit my piety should be a little bit high. Oh right, it's because I'm lustful. Although my holy relic should be offsetting that. I also usually do an early pilgrimage just so I can take advantage of that slow trickle of piety. So I guess the thing that's a little weird to me is why... So it says one of the prerequisites is that I desire the title. Now, that's for me to decide. I definitely do. I still can't believe I haven't used my martial yet. Let's fix that right away. So, I mean, I don't know any way that I can communicate that I want that title other than I want the title. Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to spend piety for something that's going to be declined anyway. Alright, well, I'll just sit through it. There's other stuff that I want from the king, so it'll work in the end. Grand Hunt is over for now. It was truly a noble endeavor and a true challenge for our martial abilities. I am proud of my hunting abilities. Gain 10 prestige. Still can't bring back the jewelry, but I can hold a feast. So we'll do that, and then we'll take a look at what it'll cost me to upgrade my castles. At least I have the temperate trait, so it'll be a slightly less expensive feast. Oh, I thought I would. Okay, the best part about preparing a feast is deciding what foodstuff to serve. I must purchase venison, boar, and duck, spices, wine and ale, honey for desserts, cheeses, and perhaps even a swan or a peacock. I will spend lavishly on food, lose 20 gold, and gain 10 prestige. Right. I have 4 guests to invite now, so slightly more meaningful. Dear Earl Ildwine, I thank you for your invitation, but will not be able to attend your feast. In fact, I refuse to set foot in the same castle as you. Respectfully, Mayor Redwald. Well, I don't like you either. So, it's probably good to know that at least one of my subjects doesn't like me, but I have 3 people who will be attending. I started talking to one of my guests at the feast and found them most interesting. Hours flew by, wine bottles were emptied, other guests excused themselves and went to bed, but we kept talking until the wee hours. I haven't met a more fascinating person, and so I have a 100% relationship with my marshal now. And I get a new courtier, so let's see what he's about. Wants to get married, has no desirable traits. So he's here to eat my food and drink my wine. But I am a prestigious ruler who allows such individuals. The last of the guests have returned home, and everybody agreed it was the year's greatest feast. I had great fun, and so did everybody else. Gained 10 prestige, and the 3 people who attended have a higher opinion of me. This is the time I maybe should reconsider laws, but I don't think there's anything I want to change. I can't change the laws for a kingdom because I don't have one. I don't have any influence on... Oh, wow. Agnatic seniority. Well, that's what I've sworn allegiance to. I don't really want to change... Like, it's always nice to get higher taxation and stuff like that, but I've always had a bit of a rocky relationship with my bishops at the best of times. So church levies and church taxation I don't really want to change. City taxation I can afford to have relatively large. I have ways of dealing with that. Don't want to do too much with the city levies just because I already have a minus 10 from the burghers. And clearly if their opinion of me is too low, I don't get any levies. And likewise for the feudal taxation. I don't actually think this matters because I don't believe I have any feudal vassals, but it's just generally I'd prefer not to have people who dislike me. Okay, so I think I don't really want to waste a lot of time on... Like, I want to make sure the king likes me more before I worry about the mayor of Lowther. So I think I'm just going to send my chaplain to Lancaster to improve my relationship with my... Actually, you know what? I basically need to kill these guys. They're not going to... No, I can't afford to do that. Just sucks that this Pope is so likable. Yeah, you know, I'll just send the chaplain to Lancaster so I can at least have the guy like me more, and then I'll worry about poisoning the relationship with the Pope. Gotta break a few eggs? Yeah. Believe me, I'm totally fine with killing holy men in this game. But I think there's other ways of accomplishing what I need right now. Okay. We're at the top of the hour. Actually, a little bit past it. Not going to clean my teeth this time around. We already did that last break. So I will ask 3 minutes or less of your time just so I can get up, stretch, get a glass of water. Encourage you guys to do the same. And I don't think there's any point in really pursuing any other games tonight. I think we'll wrap up with Crusader Kings. My ideal when I do a Crusader Kings game is to at least do a generation. I don't know if I'll fit that goal tonight or not, but we'll at least get as far as we can. Things are definitely looking up for this guy, and I have a little bit more of a hope as far as the overall kingdom is concerned. Not sure if I'm going to go for Cumberland first, or maybe try to take Chester and Derby, but we'll answer those questions when we come back. Thanks for tuning in. See you in a little bit. Alright, we're back. So, before I go any further, let's take a look at what it'll cost me to do some of these upgrades again. I think at this point I really need to be careful in terms of what I differentiate as far as goals I want to achieve and things that would be nice to have but not critical. So for instance, keep, yeah, nice, it'll take almost 1,000 days to build. Now, it does raise my levy size, so that's the first big appeal. What about the rest of this? Love to build another castle town just because of the extra tax income. So all of the stuff, like all of these are red, I can't build any of them, but the ones with the stacks of coins are just about affordability. 69 gold, yeah, I didn't even realize that. So let's just see what these things give me. A keep will increase my levy, which is fairly desirable given the fact that I can conquer at least one more domain, and I believe if I gain the duchy, I would... Yeah, I think if I become a duke, I get an extra... I believe I get an extra holding for my domain. We'll see how that works out. So keep would actually be pretty good. It's definitely really costly though. Militia training ground... Okay, I mean, I definitely like archers. Barracks again, okay. So these three are like nice to haves, but not critical. Because in the end, like 10 troops... If I take every single one of these, they're adding 90 troops. 300 troops when I'm looking at about, 1,500 for most of my engagements. On the margin, yeah, it makes a difference, but not like a spend a keep's worth of gold kind of a difference. Can't build a castle town, and then finally the Housecarl training ground will give me 70 heavy infantry, and actually it'll improve their attack, so this is the most expensive and the longest to build. Kind of cool for heavy infantry, but I think if I was going to build something large, I'd go for the keep. So it's safe to say at the moment, there's really nothing that I want to build in this area. I could try upgrading my cities and stuff like that, but I'm not entirely sure I want to... I mean, the toll booth is the only thing I can really think of because of that tax income, and I can't afford it. So the rest of this is just to increase levy sizes, and I'm not actually asking that much from my cities. As far as the bishopric is concerned, I can't build any of this. So, I mean, as I probably should be doing, I should be focusing on my personal holdings, and there's nothing I can build there. So let's take a look at what we've got for Lancaster. Now, Lancaster is technologically backward. They don't actually have the same things that the county above does. So I can't even afford the higher castle town, but that's the priority right now. 287 gold is a fairly reasonable goal to hold, and then clearly, as with the other stuff, keep would be nice to have. Barracks would be my secondary choice. So at this point here, I just need to wait for the technology to leak down to Lancaster, and so we'll basically do the same strategy that we had for hiring the mercenaries, which is just to amass gold. And I think the best way to kind of hang on to this is run the clock. Hopefully I become steward by then I can get the amass wealth goal. And maybe while I'm fulfilling the amass wealth goal, that will give me an opportunity to kind of consider whether or not I want to pursue the expansion of my realm through military conquest, or if I maybe want to start developing my resources. Either one of them are a good option. I mean, certainly while I have my domain at a manageable level, it's certainly nice to have just a couple of things to focus on rather than trying to do like these massive improvements across an entire kingdom. It's one of the problems I'm running into in the Empire is I just don't have enough money to improve all of my my holdings. Right, I've got a scholarly theologian for a daughter. Let's get rid of her. So we can keep marrying Italians. Does it give? Nah, it doesn't give me that much prestige. So the 6-year-old French dude, same amount of prestige. Into House Carling, that's a lot. So definitely appealing for Germans, although they're probably not going to help me in any fights. Norfolk will lose me prestige, which I don't want to do. So the answer is fairly easy. I will betroth her to Ludwig, Duke of Baden, and reap the rewards of a prestigious house. And I know this isn't the most exciting strategy here, but as you can see, things are looking up for the House of Rose, so we're just going to be patient and build up the resources that we have. Especially because my military is at half capacity right now, I don't want to do anything too reckless. I caught my young ward torturing a rat behind the stables today. Let the lass have her fun. I lose 5 prestige and she gains the trait Cruel. Not necessarily bad to have in a military commander, but she's not going to be leading any armies. Can talk to her about kindness for 50% chance she becomes kind, 40% chance she loses the trait Cruel. And I can pray for her soul for 5 piety, 80% chance she remains cruel, and 20% chance she loses it. Now, I mean, this doesn't really affect attraction options. Intrigue goes up. Yeah, you know what? Screw her. The kid can make her own decisions. I will get the piety. It's wonderful the perspective that you gain from this game, which is people are just tools to be used to achieve your ends. When I introduced my friend Bishop Aelfstan I had high hopes. I hoped they would become fast friends so we could spend some time together, the 3 of us. Gain 5 prestige for just meeting and greeting. I have started to feel that turn the other cheek is just stupid. An eye for an eye. I lose the trait patient. What, you mean to tell me you don't pray for your kids? I swear, there's like a book in the Christian section that tells you that's the way to parent. I need help with a delicate matter I don't want the Chancellor to take care of. There are those who think me undiplomatic, and I fear that they are right. And now I really need to be diplomatic, or the woman blackmailing me might spread her lies, with me being unable to do anything about it. My diplomatic friend, could you please help me? Or, no one, not even my friends, can know about this. Get a 15% chance of becoming stressed, or I can ask my friend to help me out, so... Yeah, I kind of assumed you guys didn't have kids. Cattle has mysteriously disappeared from the herds all throughout my land. Luckily, my bailiff found the rustlers. The cattle has to be returned, no sanction needed, 10 piety. Thievery is punished by cutting off hands. I gain 2 intrigue, and the general opinion falls. Okay, so I become cruel. Another day I would have spared their lives, not today. My monthly prestige falls, but my monthly piety goes up, and the coldest, darkest cell is reserved for scum like this. I gain monthly piety for imprisoning them? Okay, so I can get a flat 10, or I will get 1 year of 0.05 piety. Well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but 12 times 0.05 is smaller than 10. I found that a healthy beating works on neighbor children, though. I don't quite understand some of these reward mechanisms where they give you an amount of piety. Like, usually when you get a monthly amount, the total amount is more, and it's more of a decision in terms of how much you discount that flow of piety. But some of these options just give you, like, in total, with no discounting, less piety than if you just took this fixed amount. I'm not entirely sure why people would choose otherwise. Mr. Economy. I explained the situation to Mr. Gamble carefully, not wanting him to know too much about the situation, but the fear of the lunatic woman spreading malicious rumors about me made me quite talkative, and I may have told Mayor Gamble too much. It was for the best, though. Mayor Gamble agreed to help me, but wanted to be reimbursed in case something should happen. Friends help each other without charging for it. He gains negative 10 opinion for me for 5 years, but I'm friends with him, so I don't believe that will have too much of an impact. And I'll give you whatever you want, just please help me, 14 gold. So his opinion of me, 100 for friends, 9 for personal diplomacy, Yeah, I mean, I can afford to have him subtract 10 and I'll still be at 100, so friends help each other without charging for it. Still can't demand the duchy or bring back the Jews. I almost thought that maybe I didn't have the Sons of Abraham DLC enabled, except for the fact that I lost military technology precisely because I had expelled them. So in this case, you just need to be patient. It's really tempting to declare war on Jorvik, though. I mean, if nothing else, I can add Chester to my holdings. Maybe take Chester, give that to like a vassal or something. Well, I guess I don't really have vassals. Yeah, I need to be careful about that, actually. So, I mean, maybe if I hold all 3 of these territories... I'll think about it later. I caught my daughter lying to me again, straight to my face without batting an eye. I almost had an innocent servant send her to the stocks. Even I am impressed. She gains the trait Deceitful. Talk to her about honesty. She gains the trait Honest, or loses the trait Deceitful or no effect. Pray that God will show her the light. Yeah, I'm going to pray for the kid again. Just keep the money coming in, that's all I ask. So one of the reasons I haven't declared war on Jorvik, other than the fact I'm still not at full capacity for my armies, I'm not so much worried about their holding. Well, actually, no, their holdings are larger than I thought. This mission to Lancaster, well, again, it's improving relations, but until they like the Pope by less than 100, it doesn't really matter. My biggest worry, actually, are the Raiders in Lincoln right now. Just because if they decide to go walking somewhere else, they could easily wipe out one of my armies. My liege, I walk right to you with shocking news. Herewith of Mercia tried to have me assassinated to make sure I wouldn't discover her plot to kill Aelfwin. Good God. How do you even start to say that? Expose her immediately. Okay, so I can deal with the plot. I thought I could deal with the plot, apparently I can't. Oh, you know what? Maybe the reason why I can't return the Jewry is because I gave up my independence, which means that that is something that only my liege can determine. That would probably explain a little bit better. Because it feels like it's been a really long time. Oh shoot, man, your daughter's going to be packed with titles. Mostly bad ones, but a ton nonetheless. Hey! I'm marrying her off, remember? Does look like she'll have a more responsible guardian, though. I've given her to my genius wife, who does not study economics. I always hear about economists who have like started off in like engineering or physics or something like that and then moved to economics. I've never heard it the other way. So I have a feeling that one of these two professions is more prestigious, and that the one that involves the study of markets is not the more prestigious of the two. Alright. It's come to my attention that the Chancellor of Dunholm, Leopold of Norfolk, has bribed and threatened his way through my domain, trying to get enough people to recognize a claim on my title that he has fabricated for his liege. They'd better not use it, but they always do. Decided to go ahead and use the claim on my title despite having nothing more than a laughable and obviously fabricated document to back it up. That bastard. And what is his army look like? Something I could handle on my own. Oh, and he's... oh, he's not a heathen. Maybe I just cut Jorvik in half. Yeah, people usually do lose passion and drive in the course of their life. Oh good, I can marry into Carling. Well, I mean, the funny thing about that topic is most of the people that I know from university talk about how much they disliked their economics classes. So I'm kind of lucky in that I like something that not as many people will be competing for. But I certainly, like, as much as I enjoy the subject and as much as I like talking about it, I definitely have a respect for disciplines which actually make things. You know, I think medicine is a really good thing for people to study because I one day will benefit. Well, I mean, I've already benefited from their research, but I will continue to benefit from it the more that it happens. You know, even somebody who goes into trades, generally I like to have things like plumbing. I don't always need new lawyers. Especially because most of the law students that I know aren't always as interesting as I would think that they are. Or they should be. Alright. Marriage is happening, so I get a nice boost to my prestige. Believe we'll definitely exceed 5,000 for the dynasty. The rise of the Shia. The schism at the heart of Islam dates back to its earliest days. The majority of Sunnis have long persecuted the followers of Ali, the Shias, forcing them into hiding. The partisans of Ali took his descendants for leadership, but they are forced to keep their ancestry secret. Now, though, the Shias are mobilizing their strength behind a boy who they claim to be Ali's rightful heir and imam. Other Islamic jurists claim that the boy is clearly a fraud, but to his followers he is the person they have been waiting for, and now they flock to his banners. Ta! The fools fight amongst themselves. Alright, I've got another theologian in the family. Let's get rid of her. Oh, hang on. No, she did get married. Okay, so if I marry the French, just 6 prestige, so let's see if there's somebody closer to home who can give me what I need. Scottish? Oh, that'll be really good, actually. I mean, 31 prestige isn't great, but it's more than what I get from these other guys, and it's close. What about the McGurk? That is definitely not a good family to go into. I think the rest of these are just going to take away from my prestige. So looks like I'm just going to hold out for this 7-year-old Scotsman to come of age. Let's just hope the fools don't shift their attention. Well, I'm very lucky that what's left of Castile is in the way. Wait a minute, did they seriously take Toulouse? No, that's Aragon. Okay, good. I thought for a second that was Muslim controlled. But yeah, if we want an idea of the Muslim influence in the world, there are the Sunnis. Apparently... Oh no, sorry, I thought that was the Middle East for a second. I'm like, the Middle East just suddenly went Hindu for some reason. Jerusalem, I wonder what religion that is. Oh, that's weird. So why is that color different from the other? That's Sunni. This is Sunni. Oh, it's probably because it has the holy site. Yeah, so suffice to say, the Muslims are taking over the world. We, of course, are backing the one true faith. I think that probably doesn't need to be said, but in case anyone was wondering. Okay, so the patrol is happening, but I'm basically going to need to wait 9 years for it. I don't know if this guy will still be alive. Hopefully he will be. But we're just going to watch the gold tick up. This is mostly just to figure out what I want to do with it. Okay, looks like we are under attack. So let's see this new army at work. So I made a bit of a mistake here. What I should normally do is hit control. That's going to prevent me from basically raising a levy where I'm currently being raided. Now, it's just as well because they have lower morale because they just came off of a ship and I outnumber them. I'm going to take more casualties here than if I had attacked them with a full 1,400 man force. As you can see here, actually. Well, if the menu wasn't covering it, and now I lost it. So I basically lost more troops than I really needed to. 215 casualties. And that was just because what I should have done was move my troops into this region and then raise the levy once they arrived. Be careful of those heathens, yeah. Why do I only have 500 troops after that? That's really weird. That actually kind of concerns me because it would mean that this guy can... Yeah, he's got 1.17k. Now I have enough to hire mercenaries, but... It looks like my army got cut in half for no reason. Who attacked you even? Well, there's... so if you have a Viking culture, you can organize a raid. Basically, it's to take money. Now, I can just let them sit and take money from me, but I'd rather hang on to my hard-earned cash. Unfortunately, for reasons I don't quite understand, that definitely cost me as far as my military is concerned. Now, this is where we find out whether or not it's actually worth it to be part of this petty kingdom. Because my liege should be taking care of me as far as... you know, Viking invasions are concerned. But if he doesn't raise a finger, now I'm going to need to hire my own mercenaries. Okay, looks like we're getting some improvements as far as technology is concerned. Can't upgrade anything yet. I think someone just asked for help and do you want a prestige? What? No. It was raiders. So, where is an example? Right, these guys in Lincoln right now, the raiders of Bertil. Basically, what they're going to do is they're going to sit in this area, and you've got like the total loot. The gray line here is the amount that's protected by a keep. Everything to the right of that can be stolen. And as long as you make it back to your county with your ship, you get to keep that money. Now, if you're raising raiders as a Viking, not the same raiders. If you raise raiders and you don't actually send them to a county, they're going to start looting your own land. So even if you send them on suicide missions, it's preferable to letting them just take stuff from you. Now, I'm not that culture, so I don't need to worry about organizing raiding parties, but that's basically why the Vikings are such a pain in the ass in this game. I see this runs in the family. Every time my daughter looks at that woman, I get a sinking feeling in my stomach. She might be attracted to persons of the same sex as she. I can make her atone for my atone for her sins. I love how they say it's. 20% chance that she loses the trait homosexual, and she'll have a lower opinion of me for sure. Try to beat it out of her. 10% chance that she loses the trait homosexual and has a low opinion of me. She'll grow out of it, and 25% chance she gains the trait trusting. Now, there's no advantage to me for any of these, so I'll just say she'll grow out of it. Pope Galasius has died and has been replaced by Pope Silvernus. Let's see if I'm getting tax money. I really want to kill this guy. It's been loyal to too many popes. My wife's all over this. I guess it's because she found out her daughter's gay. I think it means I kill my court chaplain, which kind of sucks because he has a good theology trait, but I should have people who can replace him. Into the pit. Listen, she's getting married off. Her husband can worry about this. I write to you with shocking news. Herswith of Mercia tried to have me assassinated to make sure I couldn't discover her plot to kill the same guy. Expose her immediately. Doesn't actually seem to do anything. I'm assuming that gets reported to the king, but the king seems kind of useless. Speaking of which... Man, my chancellor's just sitting on his ass not doing anything. Oh, this is actually kind of bad. So the problem here is that if I get caught killing this guy, I gain the Kinslayer trait, which will hurt my reputation. I miss Grandpa. Should have the people that can replace him. This is what you said about the Jews, and you're still having troubles with that. Again, I'm pretty sure that because I surrendered my independence, I adopted the policies of my existing king, so... I keep looking, but I'm pretty sure until I become an independent nation again, I'm not going to have the option to expel them or return them. It is as if I see Valentina for the first time. Her good-natured spirit, the interesting and funny quirks that she has, and how lovely she really is. Could it be that I love my Valentina? Embrace the love that I feel for Valentina, 5 piety, and I'm presumably going to have some more kids. Alright, so let's see how this daughter that I brought up turned out. She became a detached priest, a homosexual, ambitious, charitable, gregarious, cruel, and deceitful. Marry her to the king of Bulgaria. That's only 64 prestige. Married to her Norseman, 28 prestige. Visigoth, 70. Has to wait 3 years, but... I mean, none of these alliances are actually going to help me out, but... they can figure out what to do. Grandpa was the best. He would have set this right. To the righteous pilgrim, Eldwine, your wisdom and mercy are legendary. I've decided to accept your suggestion of the betrothal between whatever her name is, the fan of the ladies, and Count Guy who's gonna marry a lesbian. I mean, in fairness, I mean, one of my rulers was homosexual. He turned out okay. He did his family duty and produced a male heir. What he got up to in his own time is his own business. Can I build a castle town yet? Nope. Keep in mind, she's still in the kingdom. I've got 3 years before that marriage happens. But I'm pretty sure I'll be breaking 1,000 prestige unless something disastrous happens to my king. They're a perfect match. Neither their names are pronounceable. Yeah. My mission to Wessex has so far been a success. Okay, good. So you are actually doing something with this king. Let's see what his opinion of me is now. 64. Well, great. He's not making me anything. He's not giving me titles. What good is this king? Just refer to them as them. Works for me. Unless they can fulfill my ambitions, I don't really care about them. Since he's arrived in Lancaster, there's no shortage of soldiers reinforcing this troop, soldiers reinforcing the troop station there. Under our guidance, they believe fame and fortune awaits. Sounds good to me. Are we at max capacity yet? Nope. So we wait. What I think I might do is just sit on 300 gold. That's sort of my like emergency mercenary money, and then basically all of my town improvements I will build when I hit the amount over. Oh hey, King Bearthenoth of Wessex has made the Duchy of Mercia his primary title. So glad to hear it. Where's my title? Alright, one of my kids is afraid of the dark. Let's try to address the cause of the fear, I think. She became trusting. Well, that's fine because she'll be marrying a strong man who can take care of her in this dark world. Dude, where's my duchy? See, when I have too many duchies, I get a penalty. But apparently this guy can have like 6 of them. That ain't right, man. Does homosexuality have only negatives? Good question. Let's see. Negative 15% to fertility, a negative 30 to attraction opinion, and negative 10 vassal opinion. So, the thing that's a little funny here is when it says a green negative 30, which generally implies a good thing. But the negatives are to, relevant traits. You're probably not going to have more kids if you are fond of members of the same sex. Not quite sure how the attraction opinion works. I'm assuming that is between people of opposite sex. I actually don't know how the attraction opinion works at all. And then the vassal opinion of negative 10, I mean, that makes sense just because it's, before the year 1000. They're not exactly known for their progressive views. If it has a female, then it's more attractive. I leave it to the husband to decide. There should be some positives. I don't know, what would the positives be? I mean, again, whether or not fertility is a positive or a negative is dependent entirely on your objectives in the game. Clearly, if you want to keep the bloodline going, negative fertility is a bad thing. But it's also mildly realistic, right? Not crazy about this guy's actually, you know what? I'll do something a little more middle of the road. So just, I did such a good job of raising the last kid that seems that young women no longer have the power to seduce me. I just don't feel lustful anymore. Come on, man. You're only 45. In fact, this is the time you really should be going for the young women. If you have lesbians in your court, it should increase your prestige at feasts when they get drunk and totally make out in front of anyone. If you play as a Muslim country, you actually have concubines, which can increase your prestige. Hey, my daughter became Spymaster. Alright, I'm thinking I just go for the 10 piety again. Worked last time. Although, the cattle got stolen again. Nope, and I have more raiders, so I'll show you the ideal way to deal with this. So 600 troops can't handle these guys on their own. I'm just gonna move the speed down a bit. But I'll send them in, they'll arrive at Lancaster in 2 days. Eadbald is of legal age and became a tap priest, so this is my unlanded heir. I'm not actually that worried about the fact that he's unlanded, just because I'm gonna be playing him later. But I do want to get him married off right away. The lesbian princess of Italy. Who is ill, which also hurts her fertility. This is the fantastic way to end my bloodline. Would have been ideal except for the fact that she's 40. Man, there is a really shallow pool here. I'm thinking waiting the 5 years for Countess Sybil, but... Yeah, see, he loses prestige for marrying a countess, though. I'm not going to wait 14 years for a 2-year-old to come of age. Man, it looks like that's my only option. I mean, at least she has a good stewardship, so Elisa, Princess of Italy it is. This will be a very rocky and unhappy marriage. And for males, you should get bonuses on how much people respect you if they are part of your court, because you will always be dressed sharp and tactful. Alright, on to military matters. So basically in 2 days, these guys are going to arrive into Lancaster. The idea is that in 2 days I will raise the levy, and that will minimize the casualties that I take. So 28, 29. Right now I'm outnumbered, which is a concern, so just raise the levy. Now I've got the numbers. Yeah, because all gays are dressy, stereotypical much cruising. What movie was it? Braveheart. Yeah, so I found out that my older movie gaydar is really bad because I apparently completely failed to realize that Edward the Longshank's son is gay in that movie. And then I watched it again the other day and I'm like, wow, I just was not paying attention at all. From experience, yeah, pretty much most. So yeah, either the Middle Ages gay men were not as flamboyant, or I may be just bad at picking up on those plot points. Okay, I captured a prisoner, and actually looks like I lost more troops than I was planning on. I have no clue how you didn't see that. It's probably just because I wasn't paying attention that much. That's the only thing I can imagine, because when I watched it again, I'm not really sure why I watched it a second time, but I mean, it's not that it's a bad movie, it's just there's other stuff I enjoy that I haven't seen. Or, sorry, other stuff that I am told I would enjoy that I haven't seen. So now we wait. Why wouldn't you watch Braveheart more than once? No reason. Like I said, it's not a bad film by any means, but one of the things that I keep running into in terms of movies that I watch, like, I haven't seen all of the Alfred Hitchcock movies, and every Alfred Hitchcock movie I've seen has been fantastic. So it's just, you know, a matter of time and how I spend it. It'd be really nice to be able to watch every movie once, but there's only so many movies I can watch, and repeat viewing is definitely rewarding, especially if you want to study a film. But I think Braveheart won a couple of Oscars, and it's not a bad film, but it's not the sort of thing that I want to sit down. Like, if I could watch Notorious again, which is a absolutely fantastic Hitchcock movie that I strongly recommend to anybody who hasn't seen. You know, if I could watch that again, I know I'd enjoy it just as much as the first time around. I thought it was one of his better films and one of his less well-known ones. So it's definitely not a statement on Braveheart's quality. I thought it was a perfectly good movie when I watched it. It's just more of a question about how I want to spend my time. Now, it looks like I do still have the expelled Jews debuff, for lack of a better term, so maybe I'm mistaken on my hypothesis that it's up to my king. My liege, my mission to Wessex so far has been a success. During my visit to the court of Duke Birnoth the Lame, I seem to have managed to make him understand what a benevolent and peaceful ruler you really are. He sends his regards. Perfect. Oh, you know what? I think I maybe had the unsuccessful war. I think it might have actually been this guy who had the unsuccessful war. That's probably why I can't invite them back. So this generation might actually have to die out before I can restore the Jewry. Alright, my daughter Idfeld is not exerting herself in her studies. I am starting to despair. She's just dense, what can I do? She becomes slothful. Talk to her about becoming diligent. Basically 50-50 chance that she... Oh no, sorry, 50 chance she becomes diligent, 40% chance she loses slothful, and 10% chance does nothing. Or I could pray for her and get the 5 piety. In this case, I will actually bother to be a good parent. So talk to her about being diligent, and it seems... What happened? I don't even remember which one. Well, they're both trusting, so... Could be worse, I suppose. Alright, so my diplomatic friend again, who's probably going to want to payment for his help. Oh, cool. Mayor Gamel and I managed to stop the mad woman from blackmailing me, spread malevolent rumors about me. Took every effort, all of her combined diplomatic skill, and even a small bribe to get the extortionist to promise to stop the rumors. Never approach me again and leave me alone. And I gain 1 diplomacy. Diplomacy is kind of a secret weapon in this game where all those problems that you potentially have with vassals because of opinion can largely be smoothed over with a good diplomacy trait. Cartmel... Okay, I think I need to improve religious relations in Cartmel, or specifically destroy the relations between my existing bishop and the Pope. And as far as the king's concerned, he definitely likes me, but for some reason can't or won't give me the title. My co-conspirator, Princess Valentina, has hired someone to saw through the supports on the railing of a balcony Bishop Ailson is known to frequent. Someone may soon take a bit of a tumble. Look out below! And we're training troops. Sadly, that was not the bishop dying. Okay, at 18... I believe that's my son's wife? Yep. No heirs. Oh well, worth a try. So, maybe the Princess of Navarra? It's really not a lot. Like, the one thing I don't want to do is marry him off to a courtier just because that's going to lower his prestige, and I'd rather not start with negative prestige on this guy. Yeah, so we'll do that. It sucks that he has to wait, but probably the best chance of getting a male heir. Ah, looks like we've formed a Braveheart movie night. I hope you enjoy it. Very nice soundtrack to that film. I mean, very nice everything for it, but the soundtrack was particularly memorable, I thought. Success! Bishop Ailson fell to the ground like a piece of rotten fruit when the balcony railing gave away. A tragic accident as far as anyone is concerned. So now I need to find a new court chaplain. And looks like he was actually pretty good at his job, so that kind of sucks. And I need a new steward. Oh, what the hell? Bishop of Cartmel. Steward. Now my steward hates me, but there's such is life. Does the gay kid... No, it was my son's gay wife. His poor heart gets broken. Well, I mean, she was ill at the wedding ceremony. It's really the only outcome you could have expected. Cardinal Rodolfo of Prashira was given a seat in the College of Cardinals. Again, I could care less about this. Oh yes, I do need to appoint successors, though. So, I mean, as with any job, you just put the people who like you most in the new positions. And most importantly, I have people who like me, so I think the only vassal I'm not collecting the full amount from would be... Oh man, the guy who hates me doesn't actually hold anything, so I'm getting the full amount of taxation. Awesome. Damn it, sister, we're talking about Braveheart. Sorry, I'm busy living Braveheart. Couldn't tell. My liege, I write to you with bad news from Westmoreland. My efforts to squeeze some extra taxes. Ah, yes, I've got a revolution on my hands. Cool. Betrothed to marry. 60 prestige.